All right, guys, we are live. It's episode 305 of the Shooter's Mindset. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Greg Cannon's joining. What's going on, Greg?
Hey, everyone.
Jennifer Seymour is joining us. What's going on, Jen?
Hey, everybody.
Guest star of the hour. He's back for the third time. Three Gun Nation champion, Keith Garcia. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, thanks for having me.
It's good to have you back on, man. It's, like I said, 3 times. Usually after you get invited 3 times on the show, you become a co-host. So we're going to send you that invite. I don't know if you can make it every Tuesday at 9, but probably not, because I know you're doing a lot of things over there. But third time.
You know what? It would be an honor to come on with you guys. So let me know if you need me to fill in. If Jennifer's off straddling some log somewhere, then maybe I can fill in.
There we go. Yeah, and there's always something new with Keith Garcia, man, when he comes on here. Usually a lot new. So we're going to talk. I think the last episode was like 4 years ago. I don't know. YouTube kind of throws some numbers around, but a lot has changed in 4 years, and Keith is still doing it. I mean, how are you not burnt out, dude?
Well, I tell you what, here's the thing. And I always told myself, if I get up one morning and I say, hey, I don't want to go to the match. I'm just don't want to go. I'm tired, whatever. Then I'll stop. But I still wake up in the morning and I think, man, I want to go shoot. And I like to go practice. And that feeling you get when the buzzer goes off and you kind of block out everything else. And it's just you and the gun, the targets, and that adrenaline spike from the beat, and just turning that into a good performance and being happy about that, or even having a bad performance and then getting mad at yourself for a little bit and figuring out, hey, I need to work a little bit harder on these things so I can not have that happen again, and it gives you something to do. And I love it.
There you go. How long have you been doing this, man? I know it's been a while.
So I've been a cop for coming up on 28 years. So I've been shooting guns for a little bit longer than that. And I've been competing. I started in SWAT competitions at work. And then I transitioned into USPSA pistol. Did a few national championship level matches on the super squad, shooting production and limited. And then I found 3-gun. And I think 2005 was my first nationals. I went to Reno, which was a really hard match, and I got spanked. And then I figured out, hey, I need to figure out how to train to actually improve my gear, improve my techniques. And so I was probably like second to last in 2005. And then the next time I went back was 2008. It was at Jerry Mitchell's range in Louisiana, and I actually finished second. So in that 3 years, I figured out how to train, square away my gear, and then be able to compete.
Oh, there you go. What else you have going on? I mean, I don't know. We don't have to get. I don't know if you want to get into tell us about yourself, and for those unfamiliar with you, like I said, Keith was on episode 5 of the Shooter's Mindset with. I think he's retired now, man. Talk about some. Chris Anderson was on with you in episode 5, right?
Oh man, Chris. Yeah, Chris is a great guy, great shooter, but he didn't last too long. He shot for a few years. He was there kind of at the beginning of 3-Gun Nation. We had a fun team. We're on a team together there for a while with Vertex. And we had a great time. And he was there for the pro series, kind of a really unique experience when the 50 top guys came into the top 10 women came into Tulsa, 8, 9 times. And we all competed head to head, same day, same gear. So that was a really cool time at 3-Gun.
Yeah, I think he like purchased a couple Lamborghinis and Ferraris and said, I'm done with it. You know what I mean?
That was a smart choice.
Yeah, there you go. Nothing wrong with that. But good video, and that was back then when you guys were. I think it was like Team Vertex back in the day or something like that. But there was a couple good video series that you and him, and you're all over the YouTube and stuff. But what kind of got my reload to really nail it, and some people will say, and Keith, you can tweak me on this, and well, how do you train to get a real nice reload? Like, how is it so quick? Why is you're not missing? You know what I mean? But there was a video where I saw from him, I believe. And he's like, well, find it in your, whatever, if you want to use workspace. And it's been a while since I've seen a video, but find it and nail it. And then close your eyes and do it. Bring the gun in the same spot every time and just bang it. And I swear when I started doing that and doing it with my eyes closed, man, I usually bang all my reloads. And occasionally you'll get one that you'll flop here and there. But man, when I started closing my eyes and just nailing it, I'm like, I don't even need to look at the mag well. It was just there. So good video on that. If you can find that on YouTube somewhere.
Right. You're getting to the point where you're doing it at a subconscious level, and that's really what you want to do. That muscle memory you build up through a lot of repetitions, and it's tough to get there, but once you do get there, it's a great feeling.
Boom. There we go. Jen, you just came back from a good match, right?
I
Tell
did.
us about it. What happened? Results.
The
What's up?
Wisconsin barrel maker. We won't talk about results. I had fun.
All right.
But it was a great match. It was an AG Cup match. Got to see my friends from Wisconsin from last year that make fun of how I talk because they don't know how to say creek or roof, but we won't talk about that. But yeah, it was a great match. It was very well run. Ken Wheeler and Nate Whitehead did a great job, and Missy Wheeler, they knocked it out of the park. Just fun match, fun stages, really fun stages.
There we go. And Greg, you didn't get a chance to shoot that one, right?
I didn't get to shoot that. However, last weekend while doing load development and waiting for a barrel to cool, I picked up my phone and the first thing I saw was about someone talking about loading up for the Cool Acres match next weekend. And I was like, I have nothing to do next weekend. So I actually shot my first regional level PRS match after a year and a half shooting the 2-day pro series. And it was an hour and 45-minute drive. I left in the morning. I was home by dinner time. It was a really awesome match. Lots of good shooters out there. Definitely will be back for some more out there. That was a lot of fun. And I think I actually learned about that match. Somebody mentioned it to us on the show right when they were planning on starting them. So thanks, whoever that was, and I'll be out there for more.
I got to say, whoever names the PRS matches is pretty cool.
What else we have?
Yeah, there's some cool names.
There's a lot of cool names, yeah.
I think
it's really cool because the barrel maker, there's like 6 barrel makers in Wisconsin, like an hour and a half from where the match is. And so the barrel makers are who sponsor the match. And so there's like a ton of barrels on the table and certs for discounts off barrels. And Krieger was there and Bartline was there. And I think Criterion was there. So it's just neat because they really support that match a lot and call it the barrel maker. So
very cool.
That's one of the cool things about the shooting sports. Like you'll never see like a Detroit Automotive's race. You'll see a Chevy race or a Ford race, but in the shooting sports, like everybody just kind of tries to grow us as a whole together. And it's not like, if these guys, they're my competition, people pitch in together to help us grow.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Speaking of matches, Keith, you had the Wyoming 3-gun governors match, right? How did it go for you? I heard you shot a clean match there.
It was a first in my career. Not that I like to shoot clean. It's a great way to do well in these matches. And there's always opportunity for penalties, but this one was particularly. We went to the no shoot nationals a few years ago, and there was just it was one of those things where no shoots were everywhere, and it was tough. And this one, it wasn't as tough in that sense, but they put in some targets. There was a bunch of sporting clays. I think there was 3 stages that had sporting clays. Throwers on them, and if you don't shoot sporting clays, those are really challenging. So with that and a lot of no shoots mixed in, a lot of kind of interesting positions for the amount of targets they had in like 3 long range arrays, you were ripe for getting penalties. And there's over 200 competitors, and I was the only one who actually got through it without earning a penalty. So I thought that was kind of unique and kind of cool.
That's quite an accomplishment.
Yeah, clean match. You come in? You shot 2 different divisions in that, didn't you?
No, you only shoot one. I wound up 5th in TAC ops. And sorry, can you hear me? Okay, so only one division. Only one division. It was basically optics division. So what we consider TAC ops in most. You have the one optic on your rifle and iron sights on the shotgun.
Clean match. There we go. There we go. So you am I still laggy, or am I good right now?
You're good now.
Laggy. Yeah.
A little bit.
I assume so. All right. So shooting a match clean like that, but you didn't win the overall match. What do you think you can do to clean that up? You shot a clean match, right? That's amazing. But what do you see there that can get you a little higher?
So there's two stages where I, kind of let myself down, and I just didn't get in a good position for the long range targets, and burned up a little bit of time doing that. And in a match that's scored the way they do in the UML, those seconds burn away pretty quick. It's just being consistent and not having stages where you kind of get off track and lose time, because it's all about those in that this one that they turn the time into your points and a percentage of the match. And so it's really contingent upon you being solid in all the stages. You have a couple of bad stages that are not quite up to par. Plus, considering my competition, I think you could combine the age of the first three competitors, it would add up to mine. So sometimes that has something to do with it. And we're running around in the mountains, at 5,000 feet. So I'm pretty damn happy, to be honest with you, with fifth place, because it was two AMU guys and Kyle, let's see, from I think he's in Nevada now, or Arizona. Maybe he's in Southern California too. No, Southern California, and these guys are some pretty young cats. So and Jeremy Reed, he works for USSL, and he helped put on the match. And these guys are all a little bit younger and a little bit better shape. So I'm pretty happy about that.
There you go. Yeah. You got a new video series out with Panteo, right? You got a whole new video series with them?
Correct. So I did two separate videos. I went back to South Carolina. They have a nice production facility back there, private range. And,
very nice range.
Yeah. So we went back. I went back, and we were able to. In the middle of this whole COVID thing, it was kind of funny because I think there were 3 people on the plane when I flew back in March to do this. And the idea behind it kind of was, people are going to be on lockdown for a while. So let's give them something to look at, or where they're on lockdown, that they can do something productive and actually train. Because what I've done over the last 15 years was come up with a system where I dry fire each night, and it's only about 10 to 15 minutes long, but it's the repetition of doing it every night and doing a bunch of specific drills. So you're covering basically 2/3 of what you need to do to train for 3-gun, because I break it down into 3 facets. You have shooting, which is just what it sounds like when the sights are aligned on target and you're pulling that trigger straight to the rear, what you need to do to get the hit with the rifle, pistol, and shotgun. But the other 2 facets are weapon manipulation and transitions. And I'm talking about transitions between the guns. Now with those, you can practice those at home, because these specific manipulations that will get the guns into your hand and build up the familiarity of getting them quickly shouldered, getting them loaded, clearing malfunctions, transitioning to the other guns. There's a lot to be said for that. And there's a lot of time to be lost if you don't do it efficiently. So being able to convey those techniques, it turns out to be a 4-hour video, because I really get into detail about how to do each technique. I demonstrate it in dry fire, demonstrate it in live fire. And by the end of the video, you have this 10 to 15 minute long dry fire session that you then just take out to the range, and you can set up a real quick, easy stage, and you can practice all the things you've been doing in dry fire, and you keep a log, and it shows your progress. And what I want to do, what the intention was, and what I did in my own training, was to be able to do all the manipulations and all the kind of crazy stuff that they set up. So when you get to the match, no matter what they have set up for you, you'll be able to say, okay, I already know how to do that. I have a plan for doing this. So, if they say, hey, you got to have all your ammo in this can, you're going to load everything out of there one at a time with your shotgun, or you're going to have to unload a start, or this or that, whatever the case may be, you already have a plan because you've done it, you've practiced it. So you're only worried about trying to shoot the stage the most efficient way possible. And it kind of takes a lot of the stress out. Now, if you get there and there's a bunch of sporting clay targets and you've never shot sporting clays, then it might add a little stress. But things like that are unique in certain parts of the country. So you got to kind of plan ahead and find out what's it matches. But in this specific video series, we cover a ton of things where this is a potential that you're going to see in a match. You're not going to see it in every match, but you'll have unloaded starts. You'll have to do, you'll obviously have to reload all the gear at some point, and you'll have to, clear malfunctions from time to time. Not the most ideal situation, but if it happens, you want to be able to do it efficiently. So we cover all those things and give you a package to set up. All you need is a 4x8 table at home and your 3 guns, some dummy shotgun rounds, and you're off and rolling.
Boom. And is it available now to purchase? What are the details as far as getting a hold of that?
Yeah, Panteo.com. There's a subscription service where you can go online and do stuff. The monthly subscription, you can buy the specific one, just the standalone version, or you can buy the DVD. In fact, they just shipped me a box of DVDs the other day that I could have, and I'll give out my classes and stuff. And it's pretty cool. You know, it's pretty cool to have that in hand, and look at yourself on the cover and think, yeah, and be proud of the fact that the product came out pretty well.
Boom. There you go. Yeah, I trained you a few years ago, and I actually recorded some of that footage, and obviously we kept it. So I think it was about 15 minutes, and I think what did we do? A whole day? Was it a 2-day class? Do you remember what it was down there?
I think we did 3 days, man.
Yeah. So 15 minutes, 3 days, but 50,000 views on that video here. So hey, you got to tell them folks over at Panteo, the Shooter's Mindset's coming for them on view count. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Nice. Yeah. So no, but a very popular video. We put that out, and obviously we got some snippets of what you can expect in some of Keith's class. I'm sure there's, like I said, 3 days down to 15 minutes. So you're obviously gonna need to sign up and take a class to really get the gist of it. But it's a very popular video. You can check that out on the Shooter's Mindset YouTube channel if you want to check that out there. We did that in Florida, man. And I remember we were doing some manipulations a lot of manipulations. And I think you told me, you said you warned us before we did it. Don't get your hand caught when racking the slide of that pistol, right?
It's a self-correcting problem.
Yeah. So here I go, and I ripped that gun back, and I'm all of a sudden there's blood dripping all down my hand, and I'm like, God damn it. So hey, but he warned me. I learned the hard way, and then luckily I was shooting next to I think he was like a firefighter, EMS dude, and he patched me up real quick. And yeah, I got caught right in the Glock. There you go.
The Glock is a challenging system for some of the manipulations, just because that tennifer finish is pretty slick, but it certainly can be done. And I remember you got the hang of it pretty darn well.
Yeah. I did some pretty smoking reloads eventually with the rifle. The shotgun was it was like drop 3, load 1 type of deal with the quad. So
that must be the Florida reload, because I went up to Canada and did a class, and the Canadian quad is 3 rounds, because everybody in the class would get 3 in there, and the fourth one would just fall on the ground. I'm like, all right, so we figured it out. You guys, you only have you need to have 6 and 9 round stages, and that's it.
Yeah, I'd get 1 or 2 in, the rest would fall and hit the ground, but it was a smoking 1 or 2, like it'll pop out, it was in there. Smoking 1 or 2. Eventually we had a nice box of ammo on the ground.
They'll never see those ones flying out of the gun in the video. Just get back far enough.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's all about the video. Yeah, but it was a good time. Check that video out. And you got any classes coming up, or anywhere where we can get more information to attend?
Well, so with the COVID thing, it's been kind of a pain. I had some scheduled, and then we've kind of put things on hold, just because it seems like everything keeps bubbling back up. I will have classes in Texas, most likely South Carolina, and Arizona, latter part of the year. But it's just right now I'm waiting for kind of this whole thing to blow over and get back to a little bit more normalcy. Now, I've flown to the East Coast 5 times since March and haven't gotten sick. So I don't think I may be a carrier, but I'm not sick. So I don't know. I'm willing to do it. I just don't want to get a bunch of people in the class and then have something happen. But we had 200 plus people on the range in Wyoming this weekend, and it was great because Cody's kind of cool. We were down there eating and hanging out on the strip, and the only people who had masks on were the servers.
Yeah. Wow. There you go. Yeah. I mean, I know on a beginner level, gun shop level, concealed weapons permit, basic pistols are through the roof. Absolutely through the roof. And I'm sure you can fill those classes. Like you said, you want to be careful. Oh, I got sick in Keith's class. Oh my, it's like, you don't want that to happen. But man, is the industry, and it's kind of sad to say it, but it took this for the industry to kind of boom in a way.
Record numbers. Yeah.
Yeah. Record. I mean, more than Sandy Hook, more than the one before it. I mean, it's nuts. Well, I don't have a gun to sell you right now.
Yeah, I know. I can sign some of my guns as well that I haven't shot in a long time. So but when your politicians and your city government are saying crazy things like, hey, we're going to defund the police and we're going to have more, social workers, and what are people, just normal people who aren't thugs, who aren't criminals, who know that those people are out there who are looking to prey on them? What are they supposed to do? And what are they supposed to think? Are you supposed to just give up your house and your car and your wallet and your cell phone, and then what be a good witness when maybe if somebody comes a week later to your report?
Wasn't it Milwaukee that
smart.
basically issued a statement that said that?
I'm sorry, what did they say?
One of the police departments, I think it was Milwaukee, put out like a press release, and it's like, when in public, don't carry more with you than you need. Be prepared to give up your cell phone, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, yeah. I saw that today. I don't know if it was what state it was from or what police department, but I did see that.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Be prepared to give up your cell phone was in there. So there was like a string of robberies going on, and they said they could pretty much put out like a warning. Be prepared to give up your cell phone and shit. It's just kind of weird.
Yeah. How about buy a gun? Protect yourself. No one else is going to do it. You got to do it yourself. Be like the old West, which I don't think is going to, I don't think the people who are pushing for this or advocating it really understand what that would mean.
Yeah. We get any live, Greg, on your end or anything?
Just a bunch of people saying, hey. I think Jen said hi back to everybody over there. Mike Bell did say that Keith Garcia has taught more people through YouTube videos than anybody else.
Very nice. Thank you, Mike.
There you go. We got some giveaway stuff, right? We got a lot of giveaway stuff for the show.
So first we have a giveaway that we're going to be drawing for tonight from Applied Ballistics. They donated the entire media bundle. It includes all of Brian Litz's books, some DVDs. I think there's a sticker in there and a really awesome blue t-shirt. So we could go ahead and draw for that now if we want.
I gotta say too, I did the Applied Ballistics Lab when I was in Wisconsin, and that was cool. So they took a video of me doing it. I lost a piece of brass in the spool, and I was like, wait, you posted that? What did I say when I lost my brass? But all I said was God bless America, so it was okay. But it went right in the hole. I was like, dude.
Of course it did.
But I want to reload that. Anyway, so you shot 10 rounds over their radar. They have a weather station there and a radar, and they immediately take it, and they did all this rocket science stuff. Chris explained it to me, and we all looked at him and we were like, so it's rocket science? And he was like, yes. And so we were like, okay. But gave me a BC, a true BC for that bullet coming out of my barrel with my chamber job. And it was really cool. And it gave you like your standard deviation and your ES and like everything. It was really neat, but it gave it at 0 to 50 yards and at 50 to 650 yards. So you could see this, and you could see the speeds all the way out. It was very, very cool. So if you're ever anywhere that they're at, definitely go and do it.
Jealous.
And it was free.
That sounds great. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it was really, really awesome. If you're ever anywhere that they are, definitely and go and do it. It was just shoot 10 rounds, and they said, just don't hit the target. I was like, this is weird.
Hey, I'm good. I'd be good at this one.
Well, they give you something at 700 yards to aim at, but if you hit the bullet, the radar may pick up the bouncing off and the splash. And so it might give it some noise down there. So they don't want you to actually hit it. So I just like held right under, it was a circle and I held under it, but yeah, it was very cool.
And then they give you you got your personal drag model installed in your Kestrel?
Yes. They give you, it's like when you're going through the bullets, one of them has my little code, and so I can put it in there and it'll give me my own drag model out of the Kestrel. It's very, very cool.
That's awesome. Kind of jealous.
Yeah,
I'm
nice.
definitely doing that at Gap Grind. All right, let me see. Share screen. We'll share screen 2. All right, so. Oop, nope, not that one. There we go. We have numbers 1 through 84 here. I'm going to randomly generate a number, which is 76. And we'll scroll down here. 76 is Perry McBrintery is our winner. And I'll shoot you a tag, and we'll get up with you and figure out how to claim your prizes. Now, our other thing, the giveaway we're announcing tonight. Anthony, you want to talk about it, or you want me to?
Sure. You can hit it if you want.
All right. So what we have is we have a IWI TS12 Tavor shotgun. Super awesome, really expensive, high-end shotgun. IWI, when they came on the show afterwards, they said that they wanted to donate one to us to give away to one of our lucky viewers. At 9:30, a post will go live on the Shooter's Mindset Facebook with instructions on how to enter. It's one of these fancy giveaway generator things where you go in, and I think you get like a 1 entry for liking us, 1 entry for liking them type deal. You know, if you don't want to like us, that's fine. You just won't get an entry. But the more things you do there, the more chances to win you get. So I'd recommend doing all of them if you want a free shotgun. Obviously, with this, all of the general rules apply. If you're in California, you probably can't have this. If you're in New York, you probably can't have this. It must be shipped to an FFL. You must be old enough to own it. Blah, 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 blah. And all of that's on there. So that'll be going live now in 3 minutes on the Shooter's Mindset Facebook page. So make sure to check that one out.
Yeah. Definitely big shout out to IWI US. I figured we do this with Keith Garcia on the show. Keith kind of knows a thing or two about shotguns. This isn't a shotgun that you would probably use to compete in 3-gun competition. More of like a battle shotgun, go to war type of deal.
I'll
tactical.
tell you what, that's a home defense shotgun right there. I've had the fortune to see them in person, and those things are cool, really cool. I'm definitely going to enter this competition because I'd love to have one of those.
Go for it.
Yeah, so it's very innovative. I think it's very innovative. All right, it also looks very out of a movie. Starship Troopers kind of would carry that deal. You kind of rotate the tubes so you can high capacity. You can run 1 tube with all slugs, 1 with all buck, 1 with all bird, or you can, you know what I mean? It's very, very cool. I think MSRP on that thing's around $1,500. You guys can get one by liking a few pages and supporting the Shooter's Mindset on that giveaway and IWI US themselves. Very cool deal. Appreciate that. All right.
It's extremely generous. That's a really nice thing for that company to do.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
And check out their other, models, pistols, man, the Jerichos, the Desert Eagles, the Uzis. Oh man, they got a long line of stuff there. The Tavors. All right. But Keith, your title sponsor, and obviously you have quite a few on the jersey, but POF USA. All right. That's who you're shooting for. You're shooting some. I saw something with some 308s, shooting some heavy guns with them too. Tell us a little bit more about that company and what you're currently shooting with them right now.
So Patriot Ordnance Factory is located in Phoenix, Arizona, and they're one of the most innovative companies in firearms industry today. Frank DeSoma, the owner, unfortunately was tragically killed in a car wreck about a month ago. Rest in peace, Frank. But his legacy will live on. His family, it's a family-owned company, and his son and wife and daughter are going to be, continuing on the brand and the family name there. So the guns, one of the most interesting things I've ever seen. Frank was a NASA, engineer and just aerospace guy, and he wanted to come in and use different metals and make a different gun. And his concept was he wanted a 308 that was the same size as a 223. That you could carry that. Somebody could carry that into battle, and they definitely would never be outgunned by anything if they had that weight in a firearm that ran a 30 caliber cartridge. So he did it. 2 years ago they came out with the Revolution, and it was about 6.5 pounds. And the amazing thing that they made the bolt carrier group interchangeable between the 308 and the 223. So you could take the carrier, you could remove the firing pin and the bolt, and put a 308 firing pin and bolt in, and then drop it into their 308 model from your 223. And it's just cut down the amount of moving mass and the weight of the gun and the size that you have. Literally, the only thing difference is the size of the mag ball, and obviously the chamber and the bore. But the gun, they just handle amazingly well. It's just fun. Everybody should own one, because if you have a sub 7-pound 308 that literally shoots like a 223 with the comp, with the light mass, it's operating inside, and by far the finest adjustable gas block in the industry, because you can shoot 10,000 rounds and still adjust it, and it works great. So that you can really set it up for you, and it is a lot of fun. Deb Ferns, she's with Babe with Bullets. She was in Wyoming, and she's the first super senior lady to shoot heavy metal division. And she was able to do that with the POF, and that was just awesome to see, because it's that easy to run around with. I mean, I can do a sub 1 second reload with it from shot to shot, because and I own like 7 308s, and none of the other ones can I do that with, not even close, because of just the ergonomics of them and trying to get the magazine, and half the time they fall out. But the Revolution was just, it really was a revolution. And then this year they came out with the Rogue, which is even smaller. I cut it down some more, and made the price point lower as well to attract, more customers. And then COVID hit, and they were able to sell everything and take a bunch of, pre-orders and stuff. So, it's really, that's part's really good for the company. It's just unfortunate about Frank. He was a great guy, true patriot, and he will be missed.
There we go. Yeah, I'm looking at the Rogue right now. Sub 6-pound 308. Okay, so you guys put that in your mind there. Sub 6-pound 308. The new Rogue POF USA. Okay, so you can check that out at pof-us-usa.com for more information there. Are they running on a piston system, or is it direct impingement, or what? What are you running on?
The lightweight guns are DI. They originally started off making the piston guns, and they still do have a piston line. It's a little bit heavier with that system. So the lighter guns are all direct impingement.
Do you believe in the piston system, running it for 3-gun? I mean, what are your thoughts on it? There's always some back and forth. I could never get into them personally. I think the weight is, I don't know, the weight's an issue, and I've seen them kind of break on the rental wall. So I don't know how you feel about them.
I haven't had a ton of experience with the piston system. I'll be honest with you. I've had people in classes, I've shot them. I felt a little different vibration when I shoot them. I think you can tune a DI system and make it run it just purrs, it's like a Ferrari, and it doesn't move when you shoot it. And I haven't had that experience with the piston. I think though, if you got dumped into in the desert and you have one gun to shoot and it's going to save your life, you may want to consider that, maybe a little more reliable. Maybe, like an AK, just run forever. But other than that, I go shoot sport gun stuff and, carry a gun at work, and I'm not worried about the sand.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't, you sometimes you talk to some people, oh, well, I never have to clean it. I'm like, well, that's worth the increase in money for some of these things. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I have no problem cleaning my DI gun. I mean, I don't clean it very often, but I know how to do it. You know what I mean?
And it's pretty overrated, to be honest with you. With the systems we have now, they can go a long time, and I have put that to the test. And I just squirt a little oil in there and just keep going, and they run.
Yeah, I know there's some will probably say, oh, if you're running a suppressor, you can kind of tune those a little bit better. I don't know, but you guys can chime in if you're watching. If you guys are running a piston gun, AR-15 piston, and you can tell us the benefits in the comment section, and we can agree or disagree with you, and we'll talk about it. All right. What else we got here? Anything, Jen, from you? Greg, anything?
I'm just sitting here kind of chuckling because it's so funny, the mindset difference. Like 3-gun, you want a really light rifle that you can maneuver fast, and like in PRS, it's all about getting a heavy rifle. So it's just kind of funny to me.
Like, imagine your first gap grind shooting a 6-pound 308.
Yeah. No, that would have been rough. That would have been rough. I did shoot a gas gun 308, but I shot an AR-10, but it was not, I don't know how much it weighed. Not 6 pounds. It would have been interesting.
Mm-hmm. There we go. I try to get, I had a 308 from Rise. Oh man, yeah, I don't know about if I was running around with that thing. That thing was pretty hefty. But I mean, I kind of had it to do the gap grind thing. I kind of wanted to just jump in to some PRS with a 308 gas gun. I know that would have been. I probably shot one major match and changed my mind and probably got a bolt gun right away. But I enjoyed it. I guess I enjoyed shooting 308 when yeah, everybody you shot one match and all of a sudden you had a whole setup soon after that. So
I'm gonna come join. I'm gonna join you guys on the PRS thing at some point because Collis sent me a 5-25, just a beautiful scope. And,
yes, that is.
Yeah. So now all I need is a rifle to put it on, and when I have that, I'm definitely gonna get trained. My buddy Benny Cooley says I can come up to his place and he's gonna show me how to do all this stuff. So at some point, I'm gonna come out and join you at these matches with the cool names.
So you said you were coming to possibly South Carolina later this year. I'm assuming you're coming back down to Pentan.
Yeah, Pantio's range.
Pantio.
They offer that to the instructors to come teach at that, and it's a good facility. It would be perfect to host a class. So yeah, I'd love to do that.
Let us know if you come down because that's an hour from me.
Nice.
And they do have a really awesome range for the long range. I'm not sure if you got over there to look at it, but they have steel set up every 100 yards out to 800 now, I believe. They have the boring like benches and stuff, and they got a little it's like a little pole barn, and you could shoot off whatever you want to in there. They got a barricade set up, so it's an awesome place to practice and have fun.
So the dirty little secrets about filming these videos is that you stand around for hours while they're setting up cameras and sound and oh, there's an airplane coming over and oh, it's windy now. So yeah, I think the morning of the second day I wandered over to a long range and and I had about 100 rounds, so I just started banging that steel. I think it was out to 600 or 700 at that time. I think they just opened up the longer side recently. But yeah, I spent some time over there. Really cool setup because not very many places will have that opportunity to shoot steel like that.
Yeah, that's an awesome place. And it's like, Fort Gordon is 11 minutes from me. And, that's where they host the Mammoth Sniper Challenge. They got this big range, but it literally takes me less time to drive an hour and go shoot there than to get onto base.
Right.
Plus their steel is actually really good. I've been some places where they're like, oh, the public's shooting this steel, we're going to like bolt it to a telephone pole or something where it won't ever fall, but you can't see when you hit it. So they have steel that'll move when you hit it, see everything real good. Just an awesome place in general.
There you go. Keith, here any live or are we good? Nothing on that?
I think we're good on live.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Keith, you said you were law enforcement earlier in the show. I know you've been doing the law enforcement thing for quite a bit. What are your thoughts on the current state of law enforcement in the USA in 2020? So a lot of controversy, a lot of politicians kind of talking about it, a lot of things on the media. Seems to be kind of a weird job to have these days. So what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, it's tough. It really is. In my 28th year, and it hasn't been worse than this. I suspect before the election, November, there'll be a few more spikes in this violence, and it's pretty tough when people who have no idea who you are, what you stand for, address you like they know you, and this could be your friends or neighbors or relatives, and they're listening to the media and they're getting all kinds of crazy ideas, which are absolutely untrue. We have over 330 million contacts between law enforcement and citizens throughout a year. And you're going to look at maybe half a dozen situations where things go bad and somebody does something wrong or, makes a mistake, and then judge the rest of the industry on that, which is pathetic, to be honest with you. It's really pathetic. The idea that you defund and put people at risk, again, I think a lot of stuff's driven by the election, and it's sad to me because we need strong law enforcement, because law enforcement's there for the little guy who, for somebody who maybe can't protect themselves or too old or infirm, they're sick and they can't do it and they need help, and they call, and we come. We always come. We're going to be there until you remove us. And that's a sad day there, because you go somewhere where there's not effective law enforcement, or some kind of governing body that's there to protect people, and you're going to find it's you're going to have strong men, you're going to have mobs, and that's going to be who rules. And then the strong will take advantage of the weak, and there'll be nobody there to protect them. So that's sad. And to me, we will truly lose if they convince 50% of this country that we're the people who are the problem and not the criminals. Because at the end of the day, and this is what I've told some of the politicians in my area, convince people to stop resisting and running and fighting. Because if you had that, and I'm not even saying don't ask them to stop committing crimes, because I'm not unrealistic. But if you fight with me, if you run from me, if you resist, then there's going to be use of force, because that's what happens. That's the second step. But you've already made that decision to enter that arena. And when you enter that arena, then things happen. And sometimes it goes very poorly. And nobody wins in those situations. But you've already made the decision to take that and make it a force situation where, law enforcement, we would love if everybody just gave up. If we catch you doing something, because in every state in this union, it's illegal to resist a lawful detention or arrest. So you committed a second crime after you committed the first one that brought our attention to you. So stop resisting, stop running, stop fleeing, stop fighting, and there'd be no uses of force. How about we have that? How about we push that out there on billboards?
Yeah. Seems like it seems the in thing. I don't get the in thing to make the situation even worse than it already is. Let's all pull out our camera phones. Let's all do some name calling. Let's all piss you off a little bit more. Make your job a little harder. Because shit, I woke up this morning, put on my uniform, and I want to run around catching you. I don't want to do that, dude. You know what I mean? I don't want to run. I don't want to do extra paperwork. I don't want to have to do anything. I don't want to have to arrest nobody today. I just want to protect the community, clock out, go home, and do it all over again tomorrow. That's it. And that kind of goes for anything. I mean, you flipping burgers at McDonald's. I want to flip them burgers as best as I could. I don't want to hear nobody yelling at me from behind the counter. Right?
Somebody coming over the counter and telling you how to do it.
Yeah.
Because everyone's an expert, right?
Right. Exactly. So, yeah, crazy times. We all have stories. I know friends in the department getting things thrown at them off of a basic traffic stop from people just driving by. It's nuts out there. All right.
What I find bizarre is I'll go get a call for service, go take a report for somebody who was a victim, and I'll be standing there with them, taking a report, writing down information that they're telling me, and then people will come up and interject like, hey, leave them alone. Like I got called here.
They called for me. They asked for this.
It's so funny because then the victim's like all confused because then they don't know why these people are yelling at me. It's all very weird. Things are upside down, and I think hopefully after November things will start slowing down. But I suspect between now and then it might get a little bit worse.
God.
Yeah, there we go.
Hey, on a positive note, can I give some of these away?
There we go.
So if you guys, if you want to send me a message on Instagram or Facebook, it's Keith Garcia 3Gun, or just Keith Garcia on Messenger. I can send you a 40% off coupon for up to $1,000 with Safari Lab.
Ooh.
And I have about 100 of them sitting here, so feel free to send me an email or send me a message.
They've been doing Safari Land has been handing those out. I mean, and they stop and then they'll come back. But those are super helpful, dude. If you ever go on Safari Land website, because you go there and you might go there for one thing and then you're like, oh, I need that 3-gun bag, or I need this holster, or I need this shotgun caddy, and then you end up spending $500 easy.
Oh yeah,
over there.
And the new website went live yesterday, and it's awesome. My buddy Shane Ruiz put it all together for Safari Land. He's one of the marketing guys, and you got to take a look because it's top of the line now. Where sometimes you get one of the websites and they're not responsive. They're not all dressed up like some of them, and this one is now top of the line. It's definitely one of the flagships in the industry.
Safariland.com is a new website, right?
Correct.
All right, there we go. And you can hit up Keith Garcia. He gave the email out. social media, you can find them on just by typing Keith Garcia in there. Hit them up. Those 40% offs are very, very helpful when you go there.
I think that was one of my last big 3-gun purchases before I transitioned over to the precision rifle world. It's just a bunch of random miscellaneous stuff from Safari Land.
Yeah. What probably, and I'm going to throw this out there, and I don't think it's very debatable, but probably the best retention holsters for duty or if you security on the
Right.
planet.
By far. So just a bit of history, throwing this out there. Bill Rogers was an FBI agent for 7 years. Then he retired and he started his own company. He has designed every one. He's a genius. He's designed every one of these retention holsters that Safariland's made over the last 50 years. And him and Scott Carnahan brought those to the world, literally. Scott Carnahan just retired after 40 years at Safariland on last Friday. And those two guys together produced and marketed the most secure systems that were ever developed for carrying a firearm around. And it has been an awesome, experience for me to get to know both those guys. And Bill Rogers also runs a shooting school in Georgia, which is probably the hardest handgun school in the country.
There we go. I got one in my hand right now. I'm just trying to figure out the model of it. This one I have for a Glock 34 with a Surefire 300 light, and it does RDS. So if you have a red dot system, you're running a light, you got retention. And this one had a couple things that I took off. It had the hood, it had the thumb shield, but it still has your retention right here, and it's super quick. I know what's your draw time out of something like this? I know it's pretty smoking.
So with my duty rig, and I've posted this on my Instagram a few times, where I want to be able to do 9 out of 10 times sub 1 second draw at 7 yards with my duty gun and my duty rig. And that to me, then if I can do that, if I'm trained to that level, and this is an SLS ALS, so it has both systems on it. So you have the rotating self-locking system you have to get out of the way, and then the ALS that you have to pull back, the one that you have on that holster there. If I can do that, and I train for 1 speed on my draw, and I do it as fast as I can do it safely every time, then that's what I default to under stress, as opposed to having my 5-yard draw, my 10-yard draw, my 25-yard draw, my admin draw, my loading draw, my rehold. It's just, there's a bunch of garbage out there in training for law enforcement, especially. 1 draw as fast as you can do it safely. And if you do that, then that's what you'll default to in a stressful situation. And unfortunately, not a lot of people train to that standard. And that's why we get way behind, because we're always reactive. We get way behind when somebody presents a lethal force threat. And now you're so far behind that the shots are not getting aimed. And a lot of people are missing, 50, 60% of shots.
Boom. Yeah. Sub 1 second out of a retention holster, duty rig holster, right? Sub 1 second is what you go for?
Correct.
Spread's pretty smoke. So I don't know. Some people can't get a 1 second draw on their, non-retention holster. So, hey, and I'm probably one of them. I think last time I put it on a timer, I think I was at 1.5 seconds.
Come on now, Anthony. We got to work on that. We got to get a little more efficient. It's all about efficiency.
Right. So, geez. So there you go. And it can be done with a retention holster from Safariland. Man, they are built like a tank. So there you go. A little bit of Safariland stuff there. SHOT Show. I know Greg went last year. Jen's been going last few years. I've been out of the SHOT Show loop for a couple of years now. But there's some kind of questioning. Is SHOT 2021 going to happen in Las Vegas? According to NSSF, according to the folks in the SHOT Show arena, they are moving forward with it. But we know how quickly that can turn. So your thoughts, Keith, 2021, what do you think?
So, yeah, that's going to be real tough. Short of a vaccine, I think it's going to be, if it did go, it'd be really sparsely populated. It's just, that's a tough one. I love SHOT Show, and I'll go because, I hardly even get the crud from SHOT Show. The choice of, getting COVID would probably be even harder. So I would go, but I have a hard time believing that they're going to do it with that many people packed into a small area, especially in the wintertime, because now it's all closed up. There's no fresh air. It's all recirculated, and, half the people get sick anyway. So that could be tough, although, knock on wood, I hope it happens, because I really enjoy SHOT Show. I enjoy seeing all the new gear. I enjoy meeting people. So I hope it happens. I know NSSF has done a great job the last, few years in Vegas, bringing in, just so many different companies and great speakers and doing training. So I hope it does happen. A virtual SHOT Show would not be quite the same.
No, Jen, if it happens, are you going?
Probably. I mean, it'll depend on everything, work, and my work's been kind of crazy with all of this, working in a hospital that has a lot of it. So, it's a little.
So you plan. And I know they were planning on expanding to the Caesars a little bit. So they were going to be, SHOT Show was even growing, even getting bigger. And that was kind of the new job. But okay, so now we're in Caesars. Now we're in the Sands. You can go back and forth, more people to see, more things to do. And now we have the COVID thing in 2020. I know, side note, and I know people are going to smile and laugh, but AVN has went digital. Okay. And that happens in the same week as SHOT Show. All right. Same week as SHOT Show. AVN has already canceled and said they're going.
Well, but that industry survives online anyway.
Yeah.
So you don't need to handle those models in person really to understand how they work.
There you go. That was perfectly said. Awesome. Greg, are you going 2021 if it happens, man? Hey, some people might not want to go because that thing is canceled. You never know.
Oh my God.
Kill two birds with one stone over there in Vegas.
Can't breathe.
Yeah.
Wow.
It depends on a lot of things, if it's going to be a half shot show or severely limited, if none of my friends are going to be there. But I would like to go. I had a great time last year, and if I can have the full SHOT Show experience again this year, I'll definitely do it.
There we go. Alrighty. Last thing up here, and then we can wind it down to shout outs unless we get any live. Upcoming matches, events, or goals. I know you talked about maybe the end of the year putting on some training classes on the East Coast in Texas. But anything else you have going on as far as events or goals for yourself?
So this is going to be different for me. Next couple months, I'm going to shoot the Limited 10 Nationals, the Single Stack Nationals, and the Production Nationals. And I haven't shot a handgun national since 2010. So 10-year layoff, and I'm going to go back and shoot them. Sparland wants to bring the team together and shoot a bunch of the events together. So I'm going to go shoot with Rob Latham and Scott Carnahan and Doug Koenig and Maggie Reese and Julie, and it'll be a lot of fun. But I got to train up between now and then because I don't want to be the guy who's the jackass donkey on the squad.
That's not me.
Yeah. I mean, the Tarika, I noticed like when I played it, and I played it I'm not going to say I did it hardcore, but when I did play, came from a pistol, right? We came from USPSA, IDPA. The shotgun was always the weaker side of things. But then I noticed when I did 3-gun that my pistol game went to shit. I'm like, I don't know if I was focusing on rifle and shotgun and so concerned about banging that and doing well with that I just kind of like forgot trigger control and how to aim and line up sights on the target and pull the trigger right. So I don't know. Do you notice that? Is that a thing?
Well, so there was a time in 3-gun where it was just big targets and they were close, and pistol was just a kind of a sideline where, everybody was like, hey, I can shoot pistol every weekend. So when we come here, we want to shoot rifle and shotgun. And that was understandable because that's what drew people in. But then there's been a shift back. Like the bat shot was just at this weekend. We had targets at 50 yards for handgun. We had a pistol rack, we had a plate rack at 30 yards. We had tons of partials all over the range. So you needed to be able to shoot. And luckily I've been thinking about this whole, nationals thing with pistol. So I've been shooting a lot of pistol stuff and really working on, my, vision, seeing faster and to be faster and trigger control and just doing it right. So I was able to get all those shots and be pretty efficient with it. But yeah, you can fall into that when they're just big targets and you just got to slap at it twice. But a lot of matches now, like, I went to the Nationals in Florida, you had to be able to shoot. Last year was really a lot of no shoots and a lot of tough targets, the swingers and stuff. So if you don't know how to do it at a high level, it's going to take twice as long because then you're really going to slow down and not know if you're hitting stuff, and that's not good. So training that pistol game, I think everybody should start there. because learning how to diagnose stages and plan stages and prepare for a match, it's so much easier to do it at a handgun match. I went to the PCC Nationals and it was just weird because I had one bag. I couldn't believe that. I carried one bag around, stupid little bag, tiny little gun. You know, I'm usually carrying 2 huge 50-pound bags to the airport and then hauling that stuff all around the range for 3-gun. And it's a lot more work. So go learn how to shoot pistol, learn how to shoot, stage plan and manage your emotions and stuff. Then when you're all grown up, you can play 3-gun.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I think back it was that old some 3-gun nation stuff. 2 anywhere on the paper, and you were golden, right? And I would go up there, and I'm just bum, 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 and then I go down range, and it looks smoking, right? Smoking. It looked great. It looked good on camera. And then I went down there and I looked at the paper. I'm like, what? How did I miss? How did I get one and miss one? Like this doesn't happen.
Yeah, no, it's easy to do when you start getting sloppy like that. And then they put out these 3-inch pieces of steel, and it's like, oh my God, wait a minute, I have to. Where's my shotgun? I don't want to shoot these with a handgun.
Yeah, there we go, man. It's there we go. A lot to think about. I hope you do. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the pistol side of things, man. Nationals to see how you do. Team Safari Land with Julie and all that, man. She's always a pleasure to be around, Julie. So I've had my run-ins with her have been. Man, I tell stories. That's the nicest person that you can be around. In my opinion, she's an absolute sweetheart. So I wish her the best, and hopefully I can run into her again soon at a match. So it's always a pleasure to shoot with her. What else we got? Any last minute live stuff? I want to reiterate that giveaway for those who kind of tuned in maybe towards the end. IWI US, the folks over there. Fine folks over there at IWI, TS Tavor 12 shotgun being given away, okay, during Keith Garcia episode 305 of the Shooter's Mindset, where giveaway is up on the Shooter's Mindset Facebook page on the details and how to enter. Next week, we'll do the announcement for the winner live on the show, okay, so you want to tune in to episode 306 if you enter that giveaway because you can win a nice, fine piece of machinery there from the folks over at IWI. Some last minute things. We usually put this up on podcast format. So if you guys are not following us on podcasts, and I think we're on like all the, Podbean, what are we on, Greg? You can find it everywhere, right? For the most part.
Yeah, we're on pretty much every podcast app out there. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and like 8 other ones.
Yeah, there you go. So if you don't catch us live every Tuesday 9, Shooter's Mindset Facebook live stream, and we'd like you to join us for that because you can get some live questions in and all that. You can find us on the podcasting thing. I try to upload these to YouTube, even though I've been slacking on that. So you can always find these episodes on YouTube. Mm-hmm. And you can always pull us up on Facebook and all that other stuff. All right, perfect. Wind this one here down to shout outs, unless we got anything. Good?
Good on my end.
Good. Jen, we'll start off with you. I think we totally forgot Discount Corner.
That's all right.
We've done that for like the past 2 months.
And they're all the same. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody knows. Shout outs. Shout out to McMillan Stocks for awesome, beautiful stocks right there. And Prime Ammunition for awesome ammo. If you don't have time to reload, it's very helpful to be able to just grab your ammo and go. Night Force Optics, Orange Scope Mounts, and bipods. Check them out. They support the shooting sports, so support them back. Mm-hmm. Shooters of Augusta and Sharpshooters of Augusta here locally. If you're in Augusta area, go check them out and shoot at their ranges. HD Gold, I love their glasses because I can wear them all day, and if it gets dark, it's okay, and I can still see my turrets to change my dope because I'm getting blind because they are prescription, and it's wonderful. So check them out if you need some prescription glasses like I do to be able to see. And Bortec for awesome cleaning supplies for your gun.
Oh, there we go, Greg. What do you got?
You're on mute. And GSL suppressors for me. I'm glad he was on mute because I forgot to say GSL suppressors because it's not on the gun because I just flew. But yes, they keep me civilized.
Mm-hmm. There you go, Greg. What do you got? Just unmute yourself.
You're still on mute.
No. I have GSL suppressors. If you notice, my barrel's a little bit short here. But I have a couple cans waiting for me at Crack Shop Pawn and Firearms. Hopefully sometime between the next 6 months and 17 years, they'll be free from jail and onto my rifles. Shooters and Sharpshooters of Augusta are two awesome local ranges here. Indoor, outdoor, pistol, rifle, everything. They got it there. PDC Custom for the most beautiful rifle chassis known to man. It is available in both the amazing lime green and normal human colors. NDZ Performance, if you want to build a really sweet Gucci Glock without spending a bunch of money, they've always built a very high quality product and just sold it at a good price. I don't think I've ever had a NDZ Performance part.
Get something
fail.
with front slide serrations if you're going to do one of Keith's drill videos. I warn you now. Front slide serrations on your Glock. If you don't have it, you might need it.
Just wrap it in skateboard grip tape. The whole thing.
Bring some Band-Aids.
Yeah, bring some Band-Aids, yeah.
Shooter's World Propellant. I know everybody out there is trying to find their Varget and this and that and the other thing. I just hit up buddy at Shooters of Augusta, and he has pounds and pounds and pounds of the Shooter's World Propellant. Great powder. If you haven't tried it, you should give it a shot. Hunter's HD Gold, of course. Vortec for getting that nasty rifle good and clean.
Boom. Keith, what do you got? Shout outs, man.
Well, I think it's going to be Anthony, Greg, and Jen for running the best podcast out there. You guys have been doing it for a long time, and you got a premium product here. And I'll tell you what, because I've been, can't go to the gym, so I try and go run and limp around and stuff. I'm always listening to the podcast. So you guys have provided me with a ton of entertainment over the last 6 months. So thank you.
I appreciate that. Yeah, man. And you're always welcome back on. You can always hit me up. You know where to find me. Any new projects, we'll get you back on in a hurry. Some shout outs on my end every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. We're doing a new episode of the Shooter's Mindset. You can find it all there. If you want to email me, theshootersmindset@gmail.com. I'm still lagging a little bit. That's fine. It's only shout outs, right? And Taran, tacticalinnovations.com. All right. If you can hear me, I like Taran. I like his product. TSM 10 saves you 10% off if you need some base pads. I'll do it for episode 205 of the Shooter's Mindset. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. We're out of here.